You ever wake up at 2 a.m. with the TV still playing, a throw pillow under your neck, and no clue how you got there? Yeah, welcome to the club. As we get older, falling asleep on the couch doesn't just happen. It starts to feel natural. Even right, like that soft old sofa was secretly built for this exact stage of life. And tonight, we're going to talk about why that is. Not just the obvious stuff, but the deeper reasons. The personal ones, the funny ones. The kind you only start to understand when you've lived a little, loved a little, and maybe dozed off during your favorite detective show for the third time this week. So grab your blanket, lean back, and let's talk about why the couch might just be the real MVP of our golden years. Number 1. The couch becomes a comfort zone, literally and emotionally. You ever notice how the couch eventually stops being a piece of furniture and starts feeling like an old friend? I don't mean that lightly. It's not just a soft place to sit anymore. Over the years, it becomes your spot, molded to your exact way of slouching, with that one cushion that dips ever so slightly in the middle, like it knows exactly where your spine wants to settle. There's a kind of loyalty to it. You sit down after a long day, maybe pull that old blanket over your knees, the one that's too ugly to show guests, but too soft to throw out. And you just exhale. No expectations, no effort. You don't have to get ready for bed. You don't even have to be fully upright. The couch doesn't ask questions, it just holds you. One guy online said, "My couch knows more about me than my barber and my wife combined." And you know what? I get it. The couch has seen us through football Sundays, grief over the evening news, laughter during reruns of Cheers, and sleepy evenings with a book that never made it past chapter 3. And emotionally? That's a whole other layer. It's the only place in the house where the past and the present mingle freely. It's where we sit and remember. Or forget. We're not exactly alert on the couch. And we're not quite asleep. It's a liminal space, which makes it incredibly easy and incredibly natural to nod off. It's where we feel the most ourselves. 2. We're just plain tired, but not sleepy. Here's the thing they don't tell you about getting older. You get a whole new category of tired. It's not ran a marathon tired, and it's not didn't sleep last night tired either. It's soul tired, life tired. The kind of tired that settles into your bones around 6:45 p.m. and says, "All right, we've done enough for today." But the funny part, you're not ready for real sleep. You're not heading off to brush your teeth or put on that old pair of pajama pants with the missing drawstring just yet. No, you're just entering the twilight zone, the in-between time. So what do? You plop on the couch with no real intention of sleeping. Maybe the dog hops up next to you. Maybe a cup of chamomile is cooling on the coffee table. You're scrolling through TV channels with no commitment whatsoever. And before you know it, your eyelids are slipping closed like they're on dimmer switches. You tell yourself, "Just resting my eyes." Famous last words. Because let's face it, we're not exhausted. We're just surrendering. Surrendering to the fact that we no longer have to push through it. We don't need to prove anything to anyone. We can fall asleep before 9 p.m. and no one's going to revoke our adulthood badge. One woman on a forum thread said, "I fall asleep on the couch almost every night. I call it my pre-nap before I go to bed to actually nap." I laughed so hard I nearly dropped my tea. But she's onto something. There's a freedom to that kind of tiredness. You're not asleep, but you're not all the way awake either, and that couch just catches you like a soft safety net every time. 3. The TV is the modern lullaby. Now this one's universal. I don't care who you are. The television has become our grown-up version of a lullaby. But instead of sweet nursery rhymes, it's Bob Ross whispering about happy little trees, or some British narrator detailing the social hierarchy of penguins in Antarctica. It's not the content that puts us to sleep, it's the rhythm, the familiar voices, the warm glow of the screen. That low, soothing hum that blankets the room just enough to quiet your thoughts, but not so loud it startles you awake. I swear, the narrator on planet Earth could read my grocery list and I'd be out like a light in 3 minutes. One gentleman said, "There's something about falling asleep to the TV that feels like being read a bedtime story by the universe." And that just about sums it up. It's comforting because it doesn't ask for anything back. You don't have to respond, don't have to concentrate, don't even need to be fully conscious. It's just there, gently lulling you with familiar sounds and predictable plots. And that soft drone of the evening news, like a metronome for aging minds, rhythmic, familiar, and oddly hypnotic. I once fell asleep halfway through an action movie. Gunfire, explosions, car chases. Didn't matter. My brain had already checked out the moment the opening credits rolled. That couch, that TV, that moment after dinner when the house starts to quiet down. It's the perfect storm for an unintentional nap. 4. The body has its own agenda. Let me tell you something that took me years and a couple of sore necks to fully understand. Falling asleep on the couch isn't just a habit. It's the natural outcome of who we become with age, and there's no shame in it. In fact, once you really dig into it, it's kind of poetic. Let's start with something we can all relate to: your body having a mind of its own. I don't know exactly when it started for me, but sometime after 50, my body decided it no longer needed my opinion about when to feel sleepy, achy, or stiff. It just made the decisions for me. It doesn't wait until 10 p.m. anymore. These days, the drowsiness rolls in around dusk, creeping in soft as a fog bank while I'm finishing up the dishes or flipping through the mail. One moment I'm alert, thinking I might get a second wind and finally clean out the junk drawer. The next, I'm planted on the couch with a blanket I don't remember grabbing and the dog curled up like he's guarding me for the night. It's a strange thing when your body stops asking permission. I read a post from a retired railroad worker who said, "Once I hit 60, my body started running on train schedules from the 1940s. I'm up at 5 a.m. and down by 8 p.m. Doesn't matter what's on TV or what company's over. When the body says sleep, I don't argue." And that's it. Right there. It's not about giving up. It's about giving in to a rhythm that's just more honest. The couch isn't seducing us. Our biology is changing. Melatonin kicks in earlier. Our sleep cycles shift. It's like the internal clock got rewired with simpler instructions. Work less, rest more, nap where you fall. And more often than not, where we fall is the couch. 5. The couch offers passive relaxation. Now let me tell you why that couch is such a perfect accomplice in this grand conspiracy. The couch, my friend, is the champion of passive relaxation. See the bed? That's commitment. The bed means it's time to do the full routine. Lights off, brush your teeth, maybe take your nighttime meds, fluff the pillows just right. It's a process, a whole ceremony. But the couch? The couch is easy. It says, no pressure, just sit a while. Put your feet up if you want. No need to change into pajamas or wash your face. You're good just as you are. It's the difference between going out to dinner and microwaving leftovers. Both get the job done, but only one lets you keep your slippers on. One woman in a forum said, "My couch is the one place I feel no guilt. If I fall asleep there, it just feels like life giving me a gentle pat on the back." That stuck with me. Because that's exactly it. The couch doesn't demand anything, no expectations, no right way to do it. Just exist here a while. And if you happen to drift off in the process, well, all the better. 6. Our evenings have slowed down, and that's a good thing. And let's not forget the magic that happens in the evenings. Because our evenings really have slowed down, and that's a good thing. I used to fill my evenings with things. Errands, calls, projects, fixing that one broken hinge I kept putting off. But the older I get, the more I realize that slowing down in the evening is not laziness. It's grace. It's space. It's finally understanding that the day doesn't have to be crammed to the brim to be worthwhile. There's a rhythm to an older evening that's almost musical. The kitchen quiets down. The sun dips low and the golden hour filters through the blinds. Maybe there's a little soft music playing, or maybe just the background murmur of a TV show you've seen 100 times. There's a warm drink in your hand, maybe tea, maybe something stronger, and a little hum in your chest that says, "You've done enough today." This is when the couch becomes less a place to sit and more a place to sink. Not in a sad way, but in a peaceful, satisfied way. The kind of sinking that feels earned. I heard a fella on YouTube say, "In my 30s I used to treat evenings like halftime. Now they're the closing credits, and I'm fine with that. Sometimes the ending's the best part." I thought that was brilliant. Because the truth is, there's a sweetness to evening drowsiness when you've got nothing left to prove and no place else you'd rather be. So when you add it all up, the body calling the shots, the couch offering zero resistance, and evenings wrapping you up like a warm, slow blanket, it's no mystery why the couch has become our unofficial sleeping quarters. It's not a mistake. It's not a failure. It's life, gently winding us down. And honestly, I wouldn't trade that feeling for all the sleep hacks in the world. 7. We're finally listening to our bodies. You know, for most of our lives, we're taught to push through, power through work, power through stress, power through being tired. Being exhausted was almost a badge of honor. I used to stay up late just because I could, as if falling asleep early meant I wasn't tough enough or productive enough. It's a mindset that's hard to shake. But somewhere along the way, usually around the time your back starts grumbling when you get up too fast, that attitude starts to shift. Not because you've become weaker, but because you've become wiser. You start hearing your body more clearly. And more importantly, you start listening. One guy said it perfectly. "I used to treat tiredness like it was a fight to be won. Now I treat it like a friend who's just letting me know it's time to take it easy." That stuck with me. Falling asleep on the couch is a little moment of surrender, but not the kind that means giving up. No, this is the kind of surrender that feels like finally coming home to yourself. You realize there's no prize for staying awake longer. There's no award for ignoring the signals your body's been quietly sending all day. You just close your eyes. Because you're ready. Because you can. And that, my friend, is peace. 8. The couch is where we feel most ourselves. Let me ask you something. When was the last time your bed felt like your space? I mean really yours, not just the place where you go to sleep. For a lot of people I talk to, especially older folks, the bed has become a bit formal. It's where we do what needs to be done, not necessarily where we feel most ourselves. But the couch? That's a different story. The couch is where you've laughed over old comedies, where you've had long chats with family, where you've spilled a little wine during holidays, and maybe even cried a few quiet tears during tougher nights. It holds memories and body grooves, lots of body grooves. One woman in a forum thread wrote, "My couch knows me better than most of my relatives." And I couldn't help but laugh, because it's probably true. The couch is where we let our guard down. It's where we're not trying to impress anyone. We sit how we want, wear what we want, and sometimes fall asleep with a plate of snacks balancing on our lap like a magic trick. So when you nod off there, it's not just about comfort. It's about belonging. It's your little kingdom. And if you happen to fall asleep in the middle of it, well, that's just you being truly at ease in your own skin. 9. We're subconsciously recreating childhood rituals. Here's a wild thought. What if falling asleep on the couch is actually our inner child peeking through? Think about it. Remember when you were little and you'd conk out on the carpet while your parents were still watching TV? Or you'd drift off in the backseat of the car and wake up in your bed, not even remembering how you got there. Those were the coziest kinds of sleeps, the ones that just happened. No planning. No routine, just pure, unconscious surrender. Now, as older adults, we're doing the same thing again. Not because we're regressing, but because, in a way, we're returning to something real, something safe. A guy on YouTube told this story about how his grandpa used to fall asleep in the exact same chair every night, still holding the remote. When he asked him why he didn't just go to bed, the old man said, "Because this reminds me of being a kid, when sleep just came and I didn't have to chase it." Isn't that beautiful? We spend so much of our adult lives trying to control sleep. Sleep routines, blackout curtains, white noise machines. But on the couch, we let it happen naturally, just like when we were young. And maybe, just maybe, that's the most honest kind of rest there is. 10. Because honestly, we've earned it. Here's the truth no one says out loud enough. We've earned this. The naps, the drowsy evenings, the right to drift off wherever our body feels safe and warm and loved. Look, we've spent decades showing up for people, working jobs, raising families, solving problems, chasing goals. We've stood on our feet when we were exhausted. We've done one more thing when we wanted to just lie down. We've hustled, worried, sacrificed. And now? Now we get to fall asleep without apology. One comment I'll never forget came from a guy in his 70s who said, "I used to fall asleep on the couch and feel guilty. Now I fall asleep and feel grateful." That hit me right in the chest, because that's what this stage of life is supposed to feel like a thank you from the universe for everything we've given. So yeah, maybe we don't always make it to the bedroom. Maybe we fall asleep with the lights still on or the dog licking our feet. But when that moment comes, the one where the world softens and your eyelids get heavy and the couch becomes your cradle, that's not just sleep, that's reward. And I say we take it every single time. So there you have it, my friend. 10 very real and kind of beautiful reasons why falling asleep on the couch just feels right as we get older. It's not about laziness. It's not about giving up. It's about letting go, letting your body lead, letting comfort win, letting peace and presence have the final word after a long day. The couch isn't just a piece of furniture. It's a soft landing, a time machine to our childhood. A safe little harbor we retreat to when the world quiets down and the weight of the day slips off our shoulders. And if you ask me, that's something worth celebrating. So hey, if you've ever dozed off mid-sentence or woken up with a snack still in your hand, let me know in the comments. What's your favorite couch nap memory? Or what's the one show you never actually finished because you're asleep by episode 2? If you enjoyed this cozy little trip through real life, give it a like, share it with someone who naps like a champ, and don't forget to subscribe for more down-to-earth chats like this. And if you're watching this from the couch, you're already doing it right. Sleep tight, and I'll see you next time.